Good morning, all. This is my challenge for week 1 for October, and it's going to be on flip-flops. I kind of gave y'all a hint earlier in the week. I kind of dropped a picture of some of them I had made for this journal, and so we had some people ask for some really beginner-friendly kind of crafting to do, and so that's what this is going to be. It's going to just be some really easy ones. I used the Thankful Thursday from week 40, number 40, that I'm going to be working on today, but I want to kind of give you an idea of different things that you can do with flip-flops. Now this one I did, and I just used some of the items from the Sovereign Sacred papers and Sovereign Prayers, and I just cut up the pieces that Rose gave us. I didn't do anything different. I added a little piece to attach them, which I will show you how I did that, and I covered them, and they just flip up. Then I have this kind of flip up where I attached a page at the beginning, at the top of a page, where it flips up, and so then you have another sheet. Oh, this was my paper, my hidden paper clip that goes on there to hold that down. And I'll kind of give y'all an idea of how I did those also. This one is just an envelope that I tucked over a page, and then I added a piece of Velcro here to hold it on. A lot of times I will attach it with the flap, but this one I did not do that on. This one was a little, this one I wasn't gonna make. I was doing something different, and this just kind of came out all by itself. So so it's just got like a little handle here that I thought was kind of cute, and then I just attached different pieces so they flipped up and down. And as you can see here, this is the way that I attach these. When they're just regular pieces, I will cut a little slice off of the other side so that they will flip up and down. So that's a different kind of flip. This one is a large envelope that I just attached to the side. Sometimes I leave these with a tuck spot at the bottom or at the top, depending on where I attach them to the page. So this one I completely tucked down just because it was getting really fat in here, but it will still, you can still access your envelope. And then I have this one that I attached a whole nother page to the side, and all I did was I cut this page a little bit short. I attached it to the back page, and then I used it to fold it over, and I attached it to the page in the journal. So then you have a page flip out that you can make a double pocket here where a journal tag will fit down inside. You can leave this side open where a journal card will fit in the side, or you can just leave it like I did where I glued it all together, and I did that because it was getting pretty fat. And so I think that those are all the flip outs that I had kind of given y'all a hint on when I posted this week. All of these pieces that I'm working with right now came from the Thankful Thursday for number 40. So you can access that in the feature section of our page. So you have the availability to everything that I am working with today, except some scrap pieces that I used to back the little tags here. I just used some coffee dyed paper to back those so they're a little bit thicker. The first thing I'm going to show you is the envelope. So I cut out the envelope and I glued it together just like normal. You're getting to see my messy desk today because I'm messy when I'm crafting. And usually I will just take some distress ink or oxide, and I will just kind of cover those up so it's not quite so white, just in case you can see it. And then I will attach it to your page with some glue. Now, like I said, sometimes I will leave it where you can take a tag and stick in there. Sometimes I will attach the whole thing and just leave this bottom part out. And sometimes if I push it toward the bottom, I will just attach the bottom and you can put a tag here. So I think that's what I'll do today, just to kind of show you. And I go ahead and glue all the way up here so it has some stability, so that when you flip it in and out, it doesn't come loose. And then the top is completely empty and your tag will fit in here. Or you can put something in it that would go this direction instead. So that's just one of the easiest ones that I have, and then I will decorate the envelopes, and then I will find something that goes inside of here. If it is very loose here, like this one is, I will go ahead and run a piece of glue right up the side of the fold, so when it attaches, you don't have that flopping on your envelope. Now I'm using art glitter glue, but you can use any kind of glue. You can use Fabri-Tac, you can use 3-in-1. You can use a glue stick. I just get a little more control with the precision tip, or you can use Barely Art, you can use Eileen's tacky glue, whatever works for you. Plain white glue will work. So use whatever you're comfortable with that you have in your stash. And so then you have just a really basic, easy peasy flip out here. You can decorate both sides and do whatever you want with them. Now the next one is going to use a whole lot of pieces from the Thankful Thursday, and it's going to be really fat, so I don't know about how this is going to work in going in a journal, but we're going to do it anyway. She gave us 3 pieces that look a lot alike. I already cut them up. I didn't want you guys to have to sit and watch me cut things out and piece them together. So the ones that I used have this piece. There's 2 of them here. Then they had another piece at the top and then 2 small tags on the side. So I took those and I cut them out and I glued one piece to, there are 3 of them. So I took 2 of them and I glued them together on one side. And then I have this other piece that will still open, and I'm gonna glue the 3rd one to this side. So, oh, that glue is gone. So we're not gonna use glue stick today. My art glitter glue needs to be refilled also, so I may reach up and grab my Barely Art. So just line up your edges, except that that's not what I wanted to do, because I have this piece that I folded. It's a piece that goes across here. I just folded it in half. I made a little pocket, and I'm going to use this little tab here. That's what happens when I take apart my prototype, so I can show everybody everything. And I'm going to glue it on here first. So this is going to give us a flip out here. And now I will finish gluing this down. Looks like everything needs to be refilled, restocked. And then the same thing on this side, but this one I'm just covering the whole back side. And I did cut that one in half just because it's getting a little bit bulky with all the stuff that I added to it. So I wanted it to open and close a little easier. This one I glued just a full sheet to a full sheet. But when you start piling them up on there, they do get a little bit fatter. And so I want it to be able to lay flat. This is still going to be pretty fat to fit inside of a journal. So you could use it on as a piece of Happy Mail instead of attaching it to a page. And just trimming it up so it all matches there. Move that for the time being. Okay, so then I have one of our little envelopes here. And I cut it a little bit in more of a V because I found when you attach it over the top of a page, it's hard to get things in and out of here if you don't have a little larger cut. So I'm going to attach this one, and I'm going to do it the way we did that very first one, where you attach it here over the page, and you will still have spots that you can stick a little tag into. So here, if you wanted to, because it's just attached at the top and right at the very edges. I did make some pockets, and out of the pieces that were at the top of these pieces, and I cut a little half moon out of there so that you can see that it is a pocket. These, you can decorate these any way you want. I'm just trying to use up the pieces so that people that are new to the craft kind of have an idea of how to use all the different and assorted pieces that Rose gives us. And I'm gonna kind of ink this in here because you can kind of really see that white. And so then you have your little pieces, journal cards that you can fit down in here. You can make these into tags very easily by using a corner cut. I think we all have seen this hint where you just take an old gift card or a credit card and you just have the edges cut on it, and then you just measure it up against it, and it'll make your tag toppers. Very easy and simple, and they both match that away. I would back both of these so that they're thicker and you have something that's not plain white to write on. A lot of times I use newsprint, or I use other paper that's in my craft room, or I'll use some coffee stained paper. Okay, so then we have this one. Same thing, tag will fit right up in it. So for this page, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to attach this little flap, and this again was one of the ones that there's 3 on a page, and they looked like, I didn't cut this one up, they look like this. So then I just folded it, scored it, folded it, trimmed it out, and then folded it together, and like I said, I made pockets on these so I can stick something in them. And I'm going to take this piece and I'm going to glue it to the back. Now the thing that I did on this one, instead of folding it right on the fold line, I made a double score on it because it's going over quite a few pages and I want it to be able to lay flat. So make sure that you can use your scoreboard and you can score right along the first line, that's your actual fold line, and then take it about 1/8 of an inch across and do another little score. I didn't use my scoreboard, I just folded it twice, and it gives me that little tiny pocket thing that will keep it from butting up to the paper right at the very edge. Make sure that my pocket is at the top because, you know, I've been known to glue them upside down. And I just like to use my bone folder to burnish that a little bit so that I get a good stick on them. And then I have this little envelope. Again, I want to make sure that I ink it around it a little bit, and I'm going to take this one across the side here because it's a little bit too wide for the top without hanging over on the edge. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to take it to this side. Back to, it's the same way. I'm going to glue it right down the edge, and I'm going to, whoops, before I do that, I'm going to trim it. So I just take and I just make like a little triangle to the bottom of the circle, half circle, so that I get a little bit more room, and that way I'm not fighting with it every time I want to take it in and out. So I'm going to run a bead of glue right down the fold area. I'm going to put it right here. Make sure that it butts up against the side of your paper that you're flipping it from. And then I'm going to take something, wherever they went. Okay, I've lost them, kids. What else is new? I did the little tabby things that came with them, and I was gonna put them right here. I don't know where they went. Oh, there they are. So I'm a mess. So I'm going to just, like I said, I backed these with a little tea stain paper, so they're just a little heavier duty, and they won't flip and flop so much. And then this one also is going to open. So I'm going to take this other one. I'm going to go ahead and poke a hole here where it shows that it has a little hole. Usually I would probably put a grommet in there just to make it a little sturdier. And I'm going to, as you can see, there's a little white showing here, and I don't like that. So I'm going to trim it down. And if I was doing this for a journal right now, a lot of times I would stitch on all of these pockets and all of the things that I'm doing to attach them. But I don't want to make you guys sit and watch me glue things or sew things. So just know that that's always an option if you want a little more texture. Okay, so then I would take this, and on our page that we had earlier, find where I want it, and I'm just going to glue the whole back down. Now you can also, if you want to do it this way instead of just gluing it all flat down, it's going to make it even fatter, of course, but you can glue it like this, and then you can put a tag down the top of it. So however you want to do that. But now you have this flip up that you would put something in the pocket of. This that you would put something in the pocket of. Here. This one here. And I think that these all are pretty close. Might have to trim them down just a little bit for the envelopes. You have a tuck here. You have an envelope that you can stick something up in here. You have another pocket here. You can flip this up. There are pockets that came with the kit this week. I hadn't cut those out. So we're just gonna cheat really quick and do this fast. I'm gonna fold these in. You can go ahead and cut out your top part also. You do want to make sure when you're making pockets that have the tabs that your bottom one goes over your side ones. I haven't finished trimming it, but that just kind of gives you an idea. You can see if these would fit in here. If not, you can always trim them down just a little bit to make them fit. But these pieces did come with it, and that's what I made the pockets out of earlier for the back side. So there's lots of options here. So you could put a pocket here. You could also do a little belly band down the side, and then open this one up, and then you have your pockets here. And so that gives you a little flip out using all of those pieces. And then I would set a book on here just to make it flatter once you get all of your pieces in and out of it. That way you don't end up with it being so very fat. Okay, so the last one I'm going to show you is how to do it if you're wanting to use a piece and you cut it out and you want it to flip off of the page like I did in that other journal. So I don't always cut the trim off of them. Rose usually leaves quite a bit, like a 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch around her pieces. So I just don't cut that piece off, and I fold it in. I back the back of them at this time too. And I make a little triangle on both sides so it doesn't stick out. And then I would glue that here, and then I might glue the other one right here. And then you have a flip up on both sides. If you have a piece that you already trimmed it all the way out, then you decide you want to use it for a flip up, but it's already trimmed. So you're thinking, well, I can't use that because there's nothing to attach it with. This is the same way you would attach one at the top or one on the side if you've already trimmed it out. You just take a scrap piece of cardboard or cardstock that's a little bit thicker. You don't want copy paper for this because it will rip or tear. And you make your fold. You attach it to the piece of paper you want to attach to it. I usually will take a offcut of one of the design papers so that it's designed. It has a design and it's not so white. But since I promised I was using all of the pieces from this kit, I didn't have any little offcuts, so we're just going to use a piece of white piece of the paper from that I trimmed off of things. Okay, so then you attach it like this. You've got it attached to the side. You take it and you run your glue down this way. And you attach it to your piece of paper here. And then you have a flip up. So if you wanted to do them all the way up the side, you definitely could. Gives you lots of different things to look at. You can attach all of them like this, and then you can attach the other side here, and then you have a piece that looks like this. And then, like I said, I would go ahead and cover the backs of them so they're not quite so stark white, and they would match the kit. Now you can use pages from the kit itself. Oh, I don't want to do that. I always make sure if I am using a white cutoff piece from Rose that the piece that has the writing on it goes on the inside. And you want to make sure that it opens toward your piece here. Oh, sorry, went quiet thinking about what I was doing here. So you do want to burnish these pretty good so that the glue sticks. And this is why my scissors are sticky, because I glue and then I decide, oops, I forgot to cut something off. And then you can take something, you can make a design to stick these down. You can add something like this and only glue it to one edge. so everything is caught behind it, and then it will flip up. Let me show you how I would do that. I would make this double thick, but since this is an example, I'm just gonna, because if you just use the paper the way it is, and this is 48-pound presentation paper, but it's still not very thick to hold everything down. So I usually will double it up, and then it will hold down your edges here once it dries, and then you can lift them up. You can also use magnets. You could use Velcro. You can use whale tail punches punched out. You can use anything like that. And then I would go back in and I would decorate everything. And I would use like her little decorations that she gave us. There's usually lots of things that she gives us for us to decorate with over the month. You do not have to use this Thankful Thursday. You can go back and you can use any Thankful Thursday that is still in the group to make this challenge. So if this isn't going to match anything that you're making, don't waste time or waste paper and ink and all of that printing it out just to make the challenge. If you're not going to use it, go back and use something that you have already got printed, something that you're already making a journal out of. I'm not particular about what you use, as long as you use one of the Thankful Thursdays or one of the freebies that Rose has given us. But this gives you an idea on some different flips and flops that you can make. You don't have to use anything extra. You don't have to find envelopes. You don't have to do any of that kind of thing. This is all made with the kit that she gave us this week. And she gives us such a variety of pages and sizes of different kinds of things. It's easy to take any of them and make them into a flip or a flop. You can use the envelope on the very bottom if you wanted to, like this one, and you can attach this piece to your envelope, and then your envelope would be your base piece, and you would still have it, and you can attach things to both sides of it. So I hope that gives you an idea. So that's our challenge for week 1. I hope everybody plays. Make sure you put your hashtag so we can find you, so you're put into the drawing for one of Rose's wonderful kits, and that will give you so much to play with. Have a great week. Talk to you later. Bye.